Hello everyone, welcome to this devlog. To begin, I want to ask a fundamental question. Who exactly does the player become in this game? For now, we call the player the anchor. The anchor isn't a commander in some distant control room. Modified, he links to the bastion through neural impulses, controlling turrets, sensors, and key components. The anchor sits in a core control capsule beneath the bastion's chassis. It is the bastion's heart and nerve center. Here, he runs the bastion and talks. A hit to the bastion shakes the capsule. If an attack lands near the bastion core, even the player's helmet reacts inside the bastion. Closing the helmet means giving the bastion the full neural focus. Opening the helmet lets the anchor use physical controls and speak with the squad and crew. The capsule contains many physical devices. We'll return to those later. They deepen immersion and roleplay, while keyboard shortcuts keep repeated and rapid actions convenient. Why use a first-person view? A top-down view is more efficient for managing many units in large battles. A top-down view shows the whole battlefield and makes issuing orders easy. But we want heavy firepower to feel human scale and immediate, and to connect you directly with the bastion you built, a creation shaped by your own fantasies of firepower and strength. At human scale, you see turrets traverse, hear machinery, feel recoil, and watch each shell leave the barrel. Then comes the distant blast and flying debris. The whole sequence unfolds before you, created by you and experienced firsthand. A heavy weapon's power is more than its explosion, placement, the charged pause before firing, and the machinery's weight. You feel the whole turret shake after firing. Together, these details create our intended feeling. Experience the shot, don't merely watch it. In combat, the anchor surveys through the helmet. The view locks to bastion observation stations or controllable turrets. In the setting, anchor and bastion are one. Switching views means focusing his nervous system on another control node. We call this transition neural jump. Switching turrets briefly drops the world into slow motion. The turret you leave returns to automatic control. Until takeover completes, the next turret keeps fighting under its fire control logic. During neural jump, slow motion lets you look around and choose the next turret. We'll tune it for immersion without disorientation. We may let players reduce or disable it. Since this transition is frequent, comfort comes first, but fixed nodes alone could feel restrictive. We plan to add repair vehicles, light mechs, and combat drones. They provide limited movement, closer inspection, and emergency intervention. They won't replace the bastion as combat's core. They add local hands-on options and let you inspect the bastion and its firepower network. Most turrets fight automatically. You take over at critical moments to prioritize threats or correct their aim, or operate weapons needing precision. Other turrets keep firing automatically while you control one. Manual control is focused intervention, and it won't stop at turrets. More designs are planned. Many players asked about fire control and a ballistic reticle for heavy artillery. Both are included. It wasn't ready for last episode. We've built several HUD versions. Basic fire control may offer only range finding and a distance scale, so players correct range manually. Advanced systems calculate the solution and display range, trajectory, and estimated impact point. Thermal imaging will be standard, revealing targets through smoke and difficult light. Each weapon should feel like more than different damage stats. Weapons should differ in fire control logic, handling, and ideal targets. And our definition of fire control goes further. It connects weapon performance, target assessment, player input, and bastion construction. We'll explain more once the core systems are ready. We'll explain it in a future episode. The anchor also has an overload meter. When activated, his neural impulses rapidly spread across the bastion. Gameplay slows the world while the controlled turret maintains normal speed. Overload gives time to think, switch stations, and assess the field. Take control. Aim precisely. Reclaim the battle's tempo. This is our heavy weapon principle. Maximize lethality. Saturation fire. Precision kills. Instant annihilation. That's the appeal of heavy firepower, and the combat loop should reward players for pursuing it. Now, ammunition. There is no production minigame. The autoloader requisitions supplies from bastion reserves and feeds turrets through the core line. When ammunition runs low, turrets request more automatically. The current build uses 4 turret-based supply categories, though their names may change. One clarification: supply points are not shell counts. Resupplying one round can cost vastly different amounts, creating efficiency differences between turrets. How you allocate logistics and ammunition shapes each battle and your bastion's character. Between battles, you can resupply by spending time on requisitions or exploration. Each bastion has independent supplies, but transfers are possible. This creates logistics links between outposts and the main bastion. A mission officially begins when a bastion completes surface deployment. In-world, one mission may span weeks or months. Time advances in days, and each battle consumes one. Reconnaissance, exploration, and construction during respite also take days. Days are action points, not just interface numbers. For example, some world map regions begin under fog of war. Reconnaissance gradually reveals them. Depending on equipment, reconnaissance may cover a circle, a network, a sector, or a fan-shaped scanning arc extending from the bastion. Reconnaissance can reveal enemies, special locations, or other opportunities. When an exploration site appears, you can dispatch equipment there. Mission duration depends on distance, work, and equipment efficiency. Afterward, reports and recovered materials return for your review. Recovered materials arrive in batches at the capsule's recovery bay. You'll see containers stored, transferred, and opened before accepting the supplies. Early bastions have limited capacity. An operations hub adds action queues, letting several plans advance in one day. Unlike turrets, hubs can't be mass-produced. They add no firepower, but improve organization and logistics. Mission gameplay also depends on installed functional and weapon components. As the bastion grows, so does your power. You can also change the bastion's orientation. It has a front and rear. Drag the compass to slowly rotate the whole bastion. Why build in a canyon? The full answer is complex. Here's the short version. First, mounted weapons have limited depression. On flat ground, direct fire weapons leave many blind spots. On high ground, enemies climb the reverse slope, creating more blind spots. Second, combat radius and performance matter. A reasonable engagement range on open or elevated terrain needs a much larger battlefield, multiplying enemy size, numbers, and battle duration. Detection range, pathfinding, and other heavy systems would also grow, increasing production cost. Yet fighting inside a basin can feel restrictive. How defense feels matters deeply. We want terrain that looks comfortable and feels advantageous while balancing gameplay against the performance budget. Finding that balance takes iteration. One note: the previous location mainly showcased artillery support. It wasn't a valley, but near the mountaintop. That brings us to last episode's popular artillery support. It may look like an animation, but it's interactive. During combat, request support through a terminal, then temporarily take the shell's viewpoint to make small corrections to its flight path and choose when to trigger its ability. Artillery support has several types. This smart shell has several uses. Its splitting warhead covers a wide area, or drive it directly into a target. For maximum impact damage, detonate the rear charge to accelerate or trigger a high damage airburst over a medium area. Artillery support demands precision and timing, with a huge payoff and skill ceiling. More powerful, enjoyable support types will come later. Tell us what you want in the comments. Artillery support belongs to the Beyond Visual Range Strike System, or BVR. Super heavy weapons can strike beyond the current combat zone. Enemy strongholds, patrols, or a boss still approaching the front line. Reconnaissance finds these targets. With intelligence, some super heavy weapons can strike using specialized munitions, destroying, damaging, or pinning them down. This can buy preparation time, recover materials, or weaken bosses and reinforcements. We're considering two ways to present BVR strikes. If cost and performance allow, some encounters could play as interactive artillery sequences. Otherwise, pre-rendered videos could show different targets and outcomes. Video also lets players replace resolution clips with anything they like. And this one, well, you know. Nothing is final. Both need more work. Earlier support was a BVR strike from an allied bastion beyond the combat zone. Those allied bastions, including earlier combat outposts, are not final. Players suggested placing their own smaller bastions there. We like that idea and are exploring it. Bastions have 5 tiers: outpost, citadel, battery, stronghold, and theater. The theater tier may exist only in the lore. These tiers mark game stages. Each should transform your power and combat style. Early bastions are small, demanding frequent manual turret control. Early missions are short and flexible. Later, focus shifts to design, operations, and firepower management as larger bastions become harder to deploy. Eventually, one spectacular fireworks show. That's this devlog. The gameplay loop is still a skeleton. Many systems remain in development, and we couldn't cover everything, like approaching bosses and enemy patrols. We'll cover those next time. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next devlog.